Teachers, what is the most depressing thing a student has told you about their home life? A girl on the carpet, maybe 6 years old. She was fiddling with something between her fingers, rolling it back and forth, occasionally putting it in her mouth, then taking it out again and twirling it on the carpet. I waited until the class moved into their independent work and crouched beside her. Can I see what you've got? She didn't hesitate. Just dropped the thing into my palm like she didn't think it was anything worth hiding. It was a large green pill, oval-shaped. Not a chewable Flintstone vitamin, not candy. A real adult pill. I slipped it into my desk drawer and didn't say anything else right away. She got up and went about her day like nothing was unusual. I made a mental note to follow up later. At recess, I pulled her aside quietly near the jungle gym and asked her about it. "Oh," she said. "My mom and dad give us those every night, me and my brothers." "Why?" "So we sleep all night." That was it, just facts. No fear or hesitation, like she thought every kid got a green pill at bedtime. I waited until the end of recess, then went to the office. I brought the pill with me, told admin what she'd said, and said I was concerned. I said I didn't know what the pill was, but it didn't feel right. One of the vice principals glanced at it and shrugged, probably melatonin. I asked if we could verify that, maybe call the parents, or at least put in a CPS tip. They told me it wasn't my job to worry about that. I'm just the teacher. If I wasn't a licensed medical professional, I had no business identifying pills or asking about their use. I brought it up again after school. Still the same line, don't overstep. That night, I Googled green pills. Looked through images until my eyes blurred. Narrowed it down to a few possibilities. Melatonin was on there, but so were a couple prescription sleep aids not approved for children. Still, I wasn't allowed to bring that back to admin. You don't know what it is. Drop it. I didn't drop it. I watched that girl, her and her 2 little brothers. They came in most mornings with that greasy, stale kind of smell, like laundry dried in a damp basement. She wore the same sweatshirt 3 days in a row. There was dried blood crusted around the sleeves. Not hers, I don't think. No cuts or scrapes, but it was there, all the same. Kids made fun of her for it. She ignored them like she didn't understand they were mocking her. Or maybe she did and just didn't care anymore. She and her brothers never had lunch money. Our school had a free lunch program, but only with a signed consent form from parents or guardians. Her mom never signed it. Month after month, the form would go home and come back blank. The kids would just sit at the lunch table, heads down, while the other kids ate around them. So I started signing it myself. I don't regret it. I'd do it again. I'd do worse. I never confronted the parents. They rarely showed up for anything anyway. Once, when we had a mandatory conference, the mom came in stinking like stale beer, wearing slippers and dragging her youngest by the arm. She signed the attendance sheet and left before we could talk. Dad never came. The worst part was watching her try to shrink herself in the classroom. She was quiet and strange, not in a way that stood out as much as in a way that made her invisible. She didn't play with the other kids much. She would sit in the reading corner and flip through books without turning the pages, just staring blankly at whatever was in front of her. Sometimes her younger brother would cry in the middle of math, and she would get up, walk across the room, and soothe him quietly, like it was normal, like it was her job. By spring, they were gone. Just didn't show up one day. I asked around and eventually got word through the grapevine. They were taken into foster care again. No warning, no visit from a social worker, no goodbye. Their desk stayed empty for a week before we cleared them. I found a crumpled drawing in hers. It was a stick figure girl with long red arms, holding 2 smaller stick boys. All 3 of them had big green dots on their faces. I took it home. I still have it.